Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today is Sunday, November 10th, 2019, and the time is now 9:52 a.m. Earlier today, around 7 o'clock in the morning, I woke up from dreaming, and I would usually keep my eyes closed upon awakening from dreaming, and I just would relax my body. And then usually these visions come, and this is what happened today. And the visions came right away after awakening upon dreaming. The initial visions I saw was happening, as I said, very quickly, numerous. And I don't remember the detail, but there were shapes. I remember little spheres, and the color was really bizarre. It was, I think, like a candy color, pale green, and I think it had a smidgen of blue in it. Really different, very childlike, idealistic imagery of a very idealistic garden scene. I remember it looked like a tree, and then the little round balls that I guess represents fruits. And then after that, I saw what looked like a loading dock. I've never seen this loading dock in real life. I don't think I have. My position of what I was seeing, I think I was at eye level, and the structure was very, very big. It was concave, so when I'm looking at it, it went inward, a deep curve. I think there was a top level and a bottom level, something like a platform. And there was a railing, like a hand railing that went horizontally upon this curve. And I presume that it was something to prevent you from falling over, because it would be a very long drop. And I think there was two railings, one on top level and one on the bottom. But I'm not 100% sure whether it was two or just the one on the top. And also to note, as I'm looking at this structure, it seemed like there was a structure to my extreme left of what I'm looking at. So I'm actually like at a 30-degree angle. And so what was perpendicular to my side was this very, very large structure. It was very chunky, flat. I couldn't see the whole structure, just what seemed like the rear end of it. It reminded me of, like, I used to live on a ship in the military. And when you look at the rear end of a ship, something like that. So it was chunky and slightly tapered as you go downward on it. And this thing was, again, to my far, far left. And it's not like I could have turned my head and see the structure, perpendicular, but it was just to my side of vision. And I started to notice there were lettering. I think you call it block style. It was thick lettering, bold print, and the fonts were very close to each other, kind of like crammed in. The colors could have been red, but I'm not sure of the color of the font. And it ran horizontally against this structure that lifted up and down. And I said to myself, I noticed that the font was written backwards. Like when you read in English from left to right. But this thing went from right to left. And the letters written, it was all backwards, you know? So it was like a mirror image of what you would see in the normal. Everything was reversed, I believe. But I remember the first letter, it was the letter M, as in Mary. The letter M, I remember. And I told that to myself as I was looking at it. I said, oh, that's the letter M, because a lot of times when I see lettering, I cannot make out what the word is. I have to sub-vocalize to really know what the word is. But the only thing I can do at that moment was, okay, the letters are close together, but I can identify the first letter that's to the far right, that is the letter M. And there were many letters that ran across it. It could have been maybe 9, 10 letters running across horizontally on this structure. And initially, when I'm looking at this thing, I said to myself excitedly, wow, is this a spacecraft? Because it was moving up and down. But no, I don't think that's what it was. But it was something that slowly moved up and downward and had lettering. And the only thing I could really compare it to was it reminded me of the rear end of a ship, but it was extremely flat. It was a pale color, I believe. It could have been gray, but I'm not 100% sure. But it seemed to be pale, and the lettering was bold, and it stood out. It was meant to stand out. And that is my vision of today. Take care, guys.